Up next, we have FTI Consulting. So I'm just going to bear with me, everyone, as I set everyone up to be on Spotlight. But we've got Erin, Mobin, and Bree.
Excellent, wonderful. All right, well, welcome everyone. I'd actually like to start our session today just by acknowledging that we stand on the lands of the First Nations people and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I'm actually speaking to you today from Gadigal land. And I wanted to extend solidarity and hope for a future where all are afforded justice, dignity, and peace. So thanks everyone for joining us this afternoon. We're really excited today to be able to share some information about FTI Consulting and why we think that you should come and explore some of our graduate opportunities. Now, before I hand over to some of the graduates, or former graduates who have joined us, let me just quickly run through a very brief intro of who we've got on the call with us today. So my name is Bree Valentine. I'm the Head of Human Resources at FTI Consulting. I'm also joined today by Erin Millard, one of our 2020 grads, now associate in our corporate finance and restructuring team, and Mobin Rizwan, another of our 2020 grads, now associate, from our forensic and litigation consulting team. Before I go ahead and hand over to Erin and Mobin, we do have a short video that we wanted to share with you from our practice leader, Mark Dewar.
Hi, I'm Mark Dewar, Australian Practice Leader of FTI Consulting. FTI Consulting is an independent global business advisory firm. We are the firm our clients call when they are facing their greatest challenges and opportunities. We deliver our impact by undertaking a wide range of engagements with lawyers, banks, corporate clients and governments. Our experts have worked on some of the largest forensic investigations, disputes, acquisitions, crises and corporate failures in Australia. Unlike the major legal and accounting firms, we offer a huge breadth of unique services and capabilities, all under one roof. We offer a range of services to our clients, drawing upon experts including forensic accountants, lawyers, economists, journalists, police investigators, e-discovery experts, business transformation specialists, and insolvency practitioners. As a potential employee of the firm, you could have access to learn directly from these experts and more. That's why I'm pleased to share our Australian practice is currently in a period of growth. We are a growing and profitable business, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, our global commitment to staff was that no one would lose their job due to any potential downturn in our business. I'm proud to say we honoured that commitment, and as a leader, it's refreshing to see FTI Consulting adding to our workforce as Australia and the rest of the world recovers from the pandemic. We are passionate about finding, developing and supporting our graduates, as we know you are the future of FTI Consulting. We offer a collaborative culture that delivers the opportunity to grow with the company, a structured career path and a graduate development program that ultimately provides support to obtain your professional qualification. Our global platform also provides a fantastic opportunity to work abroad on specific matters or on secondment at one of our USA or European offices. We also support our staff and the communities in which we work to build innovative and mutually beneficial partnerships and help the world more broadly. We encourage our people to get involved in our corporate citizenship efforts to help us proactively identify and address ESG risks and opportunities, and to live and breathe diversity, belonging and inclusion. When you join the FTI Consulting team, you will receive ongoing coaching, mentoring and direct access to our senior leaders to learn from the best. Are you ready to make your own impact with FTI Consulting?
Great. Let's now hear from Erin, as I mentioned, one of our former grads in who's now an associate in our corporate finance and restructuring team. Erin, over to you.
Thanks, Bree. So my name's Erin and I began my journey with FTI a little over a year ago as a graduate. To just give a summary of our corporate finance and restructuring stream, we have three main service offerings. Our biggest service offering being business transformation. So essentially, we work with our clients from across the globe to address the full spectrum of financial, operational, and transactional risks and opportunities. So this could involve us assisting our team on a merger and acquisition, performing due diligence, or even helping our client to improve their business performance. Our second largest offering is our restructuring. This typically involves us providing our clients with debt restructuring advice and formal appointments such as liquidations and voluntary administrations. Thanks, Bree. Can you please change it? Yeah, so on this screen, we have two examples of the type of work that the corporate finance and restructuring team is engaged in. So one engagement recently was to assist Flight Centre in raising equity by providing confidence to their investors and lenders after the COVID-19 drastically affected that company. The other engagement on the screen was a receiver and manager role over Interfood Australia. This involved FTI continuing to trade on the business while restructuring segments of that business and undertaking an aggressive sale campaign. Ultimately, with that engagement, we were able to run a competitive bidding process and successfully sell the business to Produce Republic, saving hundreds of jobs in the process. I was lucky enough to work on this engagement, which gave me an opportunity to work with FTI staff from across 3 different states and some high-level senior staff as well. Next slide, please, Bree. So as a graduate, you'll find that you may work on various matters throughout a day. This slide represents a typical day that I would have encountered throughout my graduate program. You may start your day off doing some research for a client pitch. So this could include you doing research on a specific industry that the potential client operates within. In a typical week, our corporate finance and restructuring team in Melbourne will hold a weekly catch-up call. So this allows us to discuss workflows with our colleagues, get updates from the senior managing directors, and play a weekly trivia quiz. That's also a great opportunity to bond with colleagues and potentially beat some senior staff members. Once a month, my team will also hold a lunch and learn session. So this is pretty much an informal training session where we get to grab lunch with our colleagues and do some on-the-job training. I also had the opportunity to work on a pro bono engagement recently. So that was involving us assisting our not-for-profit clients with the implementation of their strategic plan, which was a pretty rewarding experience for myself. Another task that you may encounter throughout your day is preparing updates and reports to be sent to creditors. So this could involve reviewing previously drafted reports and inputting further updates and preparing meeting documents to accompany the report. So I'll now pass on to Mobin to discuss forensic and litigation consulting.
Thanks very much, Erin. So the work in forensic and litigation consulting is quite broad. So I was just going to speak to the 3 largest service offerings. The first is disputes, where we're generally engaged by law firms for forensic accounting or economic loss calculation services, and we provide expert evidence that's used in court. Then we have valuations, where we value businesses, financial instruments, and intangible assets, and we do this for all sorts of purposes. So it could be for a transaction or compliance or tax purposes, or even in connection to a dispute. So there is a bit of overlap in the work done between valuations and disputes. And we also have risk and investigations, where we investigate white-collar crime and cybersecurity breaches, and work with government and other organizations for risk management purposes. And some of the people in the risk and investigation teams are actually former police officers, so there's always interesting stories about what they're working on. Next up, we have highlighted a couple of engagements. One of them was an independent expert report to determine the fairness and reasonableness of the Virgin Australia transaction. And another example we have here was the shareholder class action, where we worked with lawyers during a mediation process and calculated the loss suffered by, I think, close to 1,000 franchisees of a convenience store chain. So I was actually lucky enough to be involved in that matter, and I worked directly with senior leaders, and we prepared this interactive visual demonstration that was brought up during mediation, which really helped our client put forward a compelling argument and ultimately achieve a favorable outcome for them. A typical day in my life is it's quite varied depending on the matters we're working on and the stage they're at. So generally at the start of an engagement, it involves document review, and industry research. And then from there, we'd start to build a financial model or undertake our analysis and have calls with clients to ask questions to better understand whatever it is we're valuing, or if it's a dispute, then the dispute in question. And then following on from that, we would ordinarily draft a report, which is the deliverable we generally provide to clients. So on the screen, I have a few examples of projects that I've been involved in. I've worked on an evaluation of a law firm for restructuring purposes. So in this case, I asked questions to a client on a call to basically clarify some of the items in their financial statements, and did some research and helped put together the report. A similar matter I've worked on was the evaluation of intangible assets for a biotech company based in the US. And so for that matter, I did most of the evaluation analysis and modeling and presented our opinion to the client. In the afternoon, I have an example of one of the many training sessions that are run throughout the year. And so in this instance, it was a business writing training where we learned about different writing styles that we may not have been exposed to at uni. And I've also got an example of an employee wage underpayment matter where we worked very closely with the Hong Kong team to create a dashboard summarizing the individuals who have been underpaid in that matter. So that's a bit of an overview of the types of engagements that I've worked on, and I'll hand it back to Bree. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Erin, and thanks, Mobin. I guess I wanted to spend the last couple of minutes with you really sharing what it's like to work at FTI. So as you've heard from both Erin and Mobin, really from day one, we like to get our grads involved and give them the opportunity to work alongside experts, really on a variety of both headline making and really high profile matters. And because of our quite unique sort of flat structure, they do have the opportunity to work with the most senior members of our organisation and work and learn directly from them. Our graduate development program is really specifically designed to provide grads with the training and the support that they need to develop the skills and capabilities of a great consultant. So it starts out with our 3-day dedicated new joiner induction, which includes both sessions to help grads learn about our business, but also sessions to help them develop the skills that they need to perform their role. So what actually is the role of a graduate in our organisation? Networking, presentation skills, Excel, financial modelling, report writing as well. We also have regular team-specific technical training. And you might have seen mention of a lunch and learn in Erin's typical day. So that's a common sort of technique that we'll use to have sort of some of our more senior staff share their knowledge and share their experiences with the broader team. We also have obviously on-the-job training as well. And also financial support and study support to help you obtain professional qualifications. And our commitment to development doesn't obviously stop at the graduate level. So we continue to invest in supporting the development of our people at all levels through our in-house FTI University program, our Milestone Learning Program, which is a program that as you progress through the various career stages, we implement a milestone program to help you learn the skills that you need to be successful at that new level. So they're really both designed to help you progress your career with us and have a really long and successful career with the FTI organisation. Now, working at FTI also means having the opportunity to get involved in all parts of life at FTI, whether it's sports or social activities, pro bono work, which both Erin and Mobin mentioned, or getting involved in one of our networks. We really are looking to create an inclusive and enriching environment where employees not only obviously have the opportunity to grow professionally, but also to develop personally and really importantly for us to give back to their communities as well. So our employees can have their charity donations matched by the company. They can participate in pro bono matters and access things like paid volunteer leave. We also have a really strong diversity, inclusion and belonging network that runs regular events and training activities and a women's initiative network which is focused on the development and retention of female employees. We also give our employees access to 2 additional days of paid leave per year to celebrate religious or cultural holidays that aren't currently designated as public holidays in Australia. So we would love to tell you more about FTI, but I recognise we're working to a pretty tight time frame, and I do want to give enough time for questions as well. Our graduate roles are now open, as are many of the organisations that are talking to you today. But if you would like to learn more about FTI or apply for a role with us, you know, I'd encourage you to scan one of the QR codes that you see on the screen. And you can learn more. You can view our graduate brochure, or you can go straight through to our applications for our graduate program. And look, we really look forward to hopefully welcoming some of you on board in 2023. Are there any questions at this stage that myself or Erin or Mobin can answer? So there's a couple of questions that have come through about international students. Absolutely. We do welcome applications from international students. We are open to having international students apply for roles and work with the organisation. What type of qualities are we looking for? So there's a question here: as a fresh graduation student, we might not have enough working experience. And what do you expect, or what kind of qualities are you looking for from a graduate? Any technical skills or internship experience? Look, I think ultimately at the end of the day, you know, some form of internship is always, is always great, but it's not necessarily essential. Really what we're looking for in our graduates is aptitude and enthusiasm, and you know, some general qualities around the ability to be collaborative, to work well in a team, to problem solve, and to really be keen to use your initiative, to come on board and put your hand up and take on opportunities and get involved. So I wouldn't necessarily say that not having work experience or not having done an internship is a barrier. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we bring people on as graduates with the view that we are looking to train them up and to develop them and to build them into really successful, high-achieving consultants. So we're really looking for more the competencies rather than prior experience. A question here from Charisse: what typically makes the student stand out during the application process? So our application process has a number of steps. So it starts with an interview, obviously the application, where you send through your CV. We do have cognitive ability testing that we complete as part of that application process. Once you come through and you're screened and shortlisted for the first round interviews, the first round interview takes place and then it's supplemented with an assessment centre, so a group assessment centre. Really what makes candidates stand out for us is enthusiasm, a willingness to learn, a willingness to get involved. People who put their hands up and have demonstrated, either through their time at university or through past work experience, a willingness to participate and engage and problem solve and be enthusiastic. So I think we're really looking for candidates to join us who are hungry to learn and want to work with people with a certain level of expertise who can share that knowledge and help bring them along in their career.